Okay, hello and welcome to another edition of me playing Magic the Gathering Arena. Thank you for joining me on this first day of April, the year of our Lord 2022. We're going to be running our mono blue Mechtitan deck. I've enjoyed that when I play it. I'm actually getting a few more wins than I thought I would. I keep saying the deck doesn't win a lot, and then I actually perform pretty well, so I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, I know it's unranked, but yeah, there would be no performance if we took this deck ranked. Let's be real. Okay, so we'll go through the deck list real quick. We like Moonsnare Prototype as one of our one drops because it's some mana acceleration in blue, and that channeling ability can definitely come in handy. Putting a non-land permanent on top or bottom of a library, it can get rid of something we need from our opponent in a pinch, or even save something of ours. So that's nice. Network Disruptor, it's all right on our turn tapping something if we need to get in an attack, but I find it a little better when our opponent kills our Mechtitan on their turn. So then when Network Disruptor comes back into play on their turn, it taps one of their biggest threats, something that we don't want to have to deal with. Silver Raven, obviously the scry is nice. I like it because it's a 1/1 flyer in the air, so the flying can be nice when you buff it up with Tezzeret's -2 ability to turn that little 1/1 flyer into a 4/4 that's considerable in there. We also like the scry ability because when we have the reality chip out and we have a card on the top of our library that we can't use, for 1 blue mana, hopefully we can get something better. And of course, speaking of the reality chip, here it is. We love the access that it gives us to more cards by allowing us to play the top card of our library. And we always remember that when we can, we hold the lands in our hand and so that we can play a land off the top of our deck when that appears. So that's a good that's a good strategy to have. One more thing with this, that reconfigure cost of 2 and an island, it's kind of expensive in this deck when we're trying to get as many things onto the field as quickly as possible. Do we want to pay 3 mana, to not have anything else on the field? Well, Tezzeret's ability, the first activated ability of an artifact you activate each turn, costs 2 less to activate. That makes that price a lot more friendly. And as a matter of fact, if we have Tezzeret on the field, we can play this reality chip and then reconfigure it for a grand total of 1 and 2 islands. That's nice. Moving on. Automated Artificer. A cheap little guy for 2 colorless, a 1/3, so he can be a decent blocker against the little guys. And because he has a ability that adds that mana, he serves to fulfill 2 of the activation requirements for Mechtitan Core. Because not only does he tap for 1 of those 5 mana, but he also is potentially one of those 4 other artifact creatures that we need to exile. So we like this guy. We're running 4 because he fulfills 2 requirements for this. And speaking of this, Mechtitan Core, I need to try to remember to crew my vehicles and block with them because at this point, a lot of people aren't familiar with that. So I don't like making those sneaky plays that, it's kind of like a trap that our opponent shouldn't have fallen into because I don't feel like I should have won that. You know what I mean? I feel like I kind of snuck away with the victory rather than really actually earned it because I was going to win that game, you know? But yeah, I'll just remember to crew my vehicles, not to get a sneaky victory in, but to, be a better player. We like activating this guy as soon as possible, of course, because this is our predominant win condition. Getting out that 10/10 with Flying Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink Haste. That's nice. We just have to get Mechtitan Core and 4 other artifact creatures or vehicles and 5 colorless mana out onto the field. Not always as easy as it seems. Well, it doesn't seem easy. Okay. Patchwork Automatons running 4 because we have tons of artifacts. That Ward ability is really nice in the first turns where our opponent might not want to spend their whole turn removing it. Reckoner Bankbuster draws us cards. He creates that pilot token when we exhaust all of his 3 counters, which is nice because that pilot token, that 1/1 pilot token, crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater, or in other words, as though its power were 3 in most cases, because we don't really power it up. So Reckoner Bankbuster has crew 3, and it can be crewed by the pilot it creates. That's kind of nice. And once again, the extra card draw, quite nice, since it costs 2 to activate that ability. Tezzeret here, the Betrayer of Flesh, actually makes that ability free. And I like to cast that not only on my turn, but if I have 2 Reckoner Bankbusters and I can afford to wait on that card draw, then I can activate on my opponent's turn as well. And usually I can get that one for free, because most of the time I'm activating Mechtitan Core on my turn. Now, speaking of Tezzeret, here he is. We'll look at him really quickly. I don't want to read him out. I just want to mention that his ability, the first activated ability of an artifact you activate each turn, costs 2 less to activate. Now, I have in the past screwed myself up with this, so I want to let all my fellow blue Mechtitan players, which I know there's not many of you because I don't see the deck, but Moonsnare Prototype's tap ability, that is an activated ability. So if you activate that ability to maybe pay for a Reckoner Bankbuster that you think you're about to activate for free, you are going to be disappointed to learn that since you've activated an ability of an artifact this turn, you're going to have to pay for that activation, right? And it's pretty bad when you think that you're going to activate Mechtitan Core for 3 and gain a crucial 10 life from his attack, and then, oops, nope, I can't activate that ability actually because, you know, I did my reality chip. So that's something to watch out for. Activating Moonsnare Prototype, Artificer, or even reality chip here counts as fulfilling Tezzeret's first activated ability of an artifact, and you won't get your discount. So that's something to consider. 1 Surge Hacker Mech, because we don't have more yet, I'll probably run 3 or 4, and I'll probably take out Network Disruptors for it, because while Network Disruptor taps things, I would like to kill them instead. And we'll see how that works out. That's my theory. We'll see how it goes. 2 Invoke the Winds, because it's not the most fun card, but I'd like to increase my win percentage in this deck that doesn't have the strongest cards by maybe taking something very strong of my opponent's. That, I mean, given the state of standard now, odds are that their strongest thing is going to be stronger than mine. So we'd love for our opponent to tap out for a big guy that we just take a hold of. Often it's demoralizing enough to end the game. We've got Reality Heist. Costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Generally, we're casting it for just 2 islands or a colorless in those 2 islands. But this is great, obviously, because we get to look through 7 cards for, most likely we'll need a Mechtitan, and it helps that we can get another artifact too to help activate our Mechtitan. We're running 21 islands, and I'll probably add in a second Odawara, maybe even a third, I don't know. 2 is probably good if I get it in the packs at any point. Speaking of which, since the season, I suppose, just switched over, the constructed limited whatever season, I was given some packs as a result of obtaining my incredible diamond rating. So I figured that I would open these before I start the games today, because if we look at the rare wild card wheel, it looks like I need 1, 2, 3, and 4 packs in order to get my next wild card, which we will spend on a overgrown farmland. So let's do that really quick. And maybe we'll even get a Search Hacker Mech, yeah, or not. But now, Thousand Face Shadow was somebody that I considered using, but he's not an artifact, and you really got to get as many artifacts in that deck as possible. I mean, you can't get the artifacts with the Reality Heist, and I really need to be able to get what I need with the Reality Heist. We got Jugan Defends the Temple. That's something that I did have in my deck here. Or excuse me, no, that was in the Selesnya enchantments. Wound up not really liking it. But now that I have a second, it's possible that in the future, we will mess with the build a little bit just for variation. And I have 2 Jugan's Temples for a nice video to help keep things not boring, right? Invoke the Winds. I don't think I want a third. That third could go in the sideboard to face against decks that are, I don't know, they have a lot of stuff like that, but oh man, it's so important to keep the number of artifacts up. All right, let's hop into a game. All right, while we wait for the game, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, taking the time to watch me play Mechtitan. I hope you're enjoying the game. I hope you get something out of my commentaries. I'm not trying to just run my mouth. As lovely as it is to hear myself talk, I'd also like to impart knowledge and kind of show, like, you know, since I've played this deck for, oh, the googly eyes. Oh, that's great. Yeah, but since I played this deck, you know, I know a little bit more of the subtler plays that might not be obvious. You know, I've made a few mistakes and learned from them. I'd like to give that over. So if you appreciate that, I would appreciate if you could take the time to leave me a thumbs up down there below the video. You could like, if you could subscribe, leave a comment, lets me know, as I've said before, that there's people out there, they like what I'm doing. Oh no, I messed up. I wanted to play. See, here's a common mistake I'll make. I forget that this adds a colorless mana. So I should have tapped only one island. Oh, never mind. I think I'm messing that up there. Never mind. We're going to play Silver Raven into Mechtitan Core here. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. It goes a long way letting me know that people are out there. They like what they're seeing. So yeah, just to get back to that really quickly, I would very much appreciate that. And now let's talk about the game. Rather standard opening here. We got our one-drop Moonsnare prototype into a quick Reckoner Bankbuster down there. And now we have no cards in our hand or in our graveyard. Oh man, would have liked actually both of those, because both of those represent even more cards in my hand. Usually cards that I want, especially with Reality Heist. So that was a pretty good one from our opponent there. Not gonna lie, kind of mad. Let's see, I need 2 mana to do Bankbuster. Let's just do that first, I suppose. We'll be specific with how we're tapping our mana. Let's see what we get here. Okay, yeah, I think I'll play Patchwork first. Not sure, maybe I should have kept that open to no, what am I thinking? It's tapped. For some reason I thought it would untap when I crewed it. Oh man, get your head in the game, buddy. Weaver of Harmony. Love that card. Obviously we play it in our Selesnya enchantments deck. I will be uploading those shortly. So if you're interested in that, Selesnya enchantments deck using the Weaver of Harmony and some runes, I will have that content out shortly. They're already recorded. So hopefully someone can get some value out of those. Let's see, we have access to a total of 5 mana here. We're not getting off our Mechtitan Core because we don't have enough artifact creatures. This Moonsnare prototype, sadly, does not count as a creature. For its activation, we're just going to play automated, I think. Or even better, we'll draw the card first, just to keep our options open. I don't think that's going to work. Play this guy. And I'll offer my opponent to trade with Patchwork Autumn, or no, I won't. I have a feeling something brutal is going to make us sad in the coming turn. Weaver of Harmony, of course, very good card, can possibly double some removal that our opponent has, and that would be good for them because we have enough to activate Mechtitan Core. I'm not going to bother blocking that. I don't want to risk anything when they probably have something to play with in their hand given all of their mana is left untapped. Okay, he's going to be returning something because he... Never mind, he didn't kick it. That's 3 in a swamp. I thought it was 1. Okay. Oh, man. Well, there goes that. Not the most necessary, though, because now we can just activate our Mechtitan. Now, I normally don't prefer sacrificing a Patchwork Automaton to Mechtitan, It comes back without the counters, but I mean, it's only got 1 on it, so we're kind of fine now. Not really losing out on something big. But if I have the option, I like to put out another creature and then leave the patchwork on the field. It's nice to have another big guy in addition to Mechtitan. I'm taking everything. I'm not risking him giving his creatures death touch. There's no reason for me to risk blocking. Oh, they have Menace. Wow, my commentary is just terrible. Missing everything, man. Menace, lifelink. Looks like one of the cards our opponent drew was a land there. We like to make that assumption because it kind of tells me, or I can at least assume that our opponent only got one thing that they could actually cast, you know. We'll keep this guy in our hand so that they waste more of their spells on it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end the turn. I try not to play the last card in my hand if I don't have to. Because if you play out your last card, then your opponent can kind of breathe something of a sigh of relief. Now, at least they know nothing more is coming. Oh man, that was a pretty good one. What's coming up next turn? Because Weaver could double that too. We're gonna put the island on the bottom. Okay, first thing we'll do is draw another card. Didn't really want that. Now I did play out my last card there, but in this case, I just want to take my opponent down as fast as I can by getting patchwork some counters on him. We'll see how that works out for me. Yeah, that's a good idea, getting the dual lands if they're going to come into play tapped anyway. Our opponent busts out a Cura, who's definitely got Death Touch. Oh man, I think we're going to have I think we're going to cast that and block Cura. Not really another move to do there. We'll have our opponent take 2 damage. We'll keep the island in hand. Our opponent's taking a good look at Patchwork Automaton. Not sure if they're going to kill him, though. Ugh, return target permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Well, he's going to get that enchantment and then double it again. He has the mana for it. We see 4 plus the 5th. So that's good. Now, I think all he is... wait. Oh, beautiful. It's an enchantment, so he can double that. Beautiful. Yeah, because he didn't have the mana to pay for the ward cost this turn. I think that's why he was being a little hesitant. He can't cast it on Patchwork. I think my best play would be Reckoner. Whatever, a flyer is pretty good too. Although since he has a flyer. Okay, if we could get into a Mechtitan core here. Hopefully it shows up in these cards. Beautiful. There it is, and we'll get a reality chip also. Just in case this doesn't go entirely as planned. And that's the 7. So if Mechtitan dies, we didn't sacrifice 4 counters on Patchwork. We get back a bunch of mana, and we get a tap on one of his creatures. That's pretty good. I'll take it. That thing? Oh, we're definitely attacking with both. Oh, good game. I don't know if you mean that. I think you're just going to take trample and die, right? No lifelink? Oh, an honorable opponent. He said good game and then let us swing for the victory. Good game, Bilbo Swaggins. I appreciate that, man. Good stuff. Got that good spirit of the game. Of course, with bad spirit of the game being defined as the people who, you know, you didn't beat me, I conceded. We've all had that at the table. We're playing against Cesar. We see the accent over the E, so we know to accentuate it. Oh, neat. His Ajani only has one googly eye. I like that. What do we got here? I think we'll just go for the reality chip. Although we can't attach it to anything, so maybe it's better to do we draw a card? Do we play reality chip or Mechtitan core? I can't really tell. I'll just play Mechtitan core, but it might have been that or draw a card, whatever. Okay, borrowed time. Our opponent has good choices. Yeah, I would have picked Bankbuster too. It's an extra card each turn. That was a pretty good play there. Okay, so we notice our opponent's gaining a bunch of life with each enchantment spell. We also notice they have 4 cards in hand. Oh man. I guess I'll play the Surge Hacker mech, and that'll help bring down the Reality Heist, because that's what we really need to play at this point. We've got 2 vehicles, so it's going to deal 4 damage. That means that we can take out one of these guys. We're going to do that. I'll just slow down our opponent's pretty nice life gain to something okay. Okay. Our opponent now has hexproof. Okay, we'll just block one of these. I think we'll just pass the turn, because our opponent doesn't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll play a little head game there, have them wondering what's going to happen. Really, all we're going to do is play a Reality Heist. Doesn't hurt them so much as help us. Oh, borrowed time. It looks like we're going to have to play that now. I think we're going to go Reckoner and Mechtitan. Even though maybe I should have waited to see who they target in case it's the reality chip, right? Because I could have then gotten the replacement one there. If we Moonsnare prototype that borrowed time he just casted on our Surge Hacker mech, then Surge Hacker mech comes into play and we can destroy something else. That's pretty nice. I would destroy his Enduring Angel. Oh, this is rough. This is kind of rough. Pass. Our opponent's going to be taking us down probably 7 at least next turn. But we do get an activation on Reckoner for the patchwork. And if we draw an island, then we should be able to get off our Mechtitan. That's a, oh man. +1/+1 is not bad on a double striker. Okay, well, we now have an entire 1 life. We're gonna cast Reckoner before his end. Yep, and I would assume now is your end step. Just do that really fast. Okay, we did not get what we wanted there. So I guess we say good game and exit. Our only play there, of course, was having that patchwork automaton, which we knew was on top because of reality chip, and it had to be an island underneath so that we'd have a total of 7 mana to pay 2 for patchwork and then be able to pay 5 for Mechtitan. So we had pretty good odds because, you know, that's the most amount of any single cards in my deck, but it didn't happen. GG opponent. Oh man, kind of just realized something here. I'll just end the game as quickly as possible. I mentioned at the beginning of the video I was opening those packs so that I could get my next rare wild card and spend it on my next dual land. I'm gonna do that really quick before I forget. Because I'll forget for tomorrow too. I realize that I'm not playing that deck. Just want to do it now. So thank you for bearing with me. Let's get right back into another game. Playing against, I would assume that's Jesus Mainar. Hello, bienvenido. If the board looks like this, I was contemplating playing Reality Chip. Or Mechtitan, actually, because against red and black, we have to assume that they have plenty of removal. So, you know, putting down something, basically, the first thing is, oh, that's the biggest target. I have, you know, access to the most cards in my hand now, and probably the most answers. So in my opinion, the first thing you play is most likely to be answered. But I just really want to start drawing the cards as soon as possible. I think I might want to be able to block the 3/3 though. So it looks like we'll play the reality chip. And then next turn, probably Mechtitan cores. I'm assuming it's going to die. He's looking at that thing really hard. Whatever. Okay. Hopefully no little tricks happen here. Okay. Now I see Automated Artificer out there, so I'd like to draw it and then play it. Because then we have something to reconfigure the reality chip onto. It's going to be nice to increase the amount of cards we have access to. And if things get really crazy with our opponent here, we will be dropping our 5th land, and that will enable Invoke the Winds if we choose. So if they, you know, if they play something really wild here, maybe it would come onto our side. We'll see. Oh man, opponent thinking. Our boy's definitely thinking here. Okay, that's good. That's going to get a little rowdy. And that's going to be great to take. This puts a +1/+1 counter or a treasure token. I'll actually leave him. I don't want him to create the treasure token. Looks like we have it to discard a card to steal this Westgate Regent, but it has flying. So he's going to have to deal with this right away, because if we deal damage with it to him, that's going to be an 8/8 right away. He's not going to be happy with that. Discard a card. Probably just discard the Network Disruptor. Actually Moonsnare, just in case we need to activate a Mechtitan. Be better to have more stuff to do that with. Oops. I thought I was canceling through. My bad. Just skip to our opponent's turn and see how they respond to Westgate Regent, who is a good block against all of their stuff. So we're sitting pretty right now. We're also tapped out. We'll see what our opponent does. It's their main phase. They have all their mana ready to go. But I don't think they have the removal to do what they want to the things on our side of the board. I mean, namely that reality chip. A lot of people want the reality chip gone. Oh, this is great. I mean, it's not great. We want the Westgate Regent, but our opponent has to take 2 cards to kill their own cards. So we traded 1 for 3 there because we used Invoke the Winds, and that went to our graveyard. They played this and lost it. They lost their creature, then they had to kill it with the sorcery, and then to actually target it and not get countered by its board, they had to discard a card, so that's pretty awesome. I think we'll kill this. Or excuse me, block. Yeah, you can deal your 1 damage. I'm not giving you your token. I just don't, because if I block that, they get a token, a treasure token, by Kalain's ability. That'll just transfer this creature's power onto something probably bigger and nastier. So just let them go ahead and attack me for 1. Feeling pretty good now because our opponent only has 1 card in their hand. They've got nothing that I can see to help them draw more cards. We like that. I think I'll reconfigure Reality Chip first so that we can play the land off the top. Oh, you know what? I probably should have tapped that just because it's, you know, a min-maxer would say that's the ultimate play because then he has 1 less access to a mana. Whatever, I didn't think of it. I'll actually do that now. I'm gonna get rid of that Reality Chip. Do I? This has crew 3, right? But I could crew that. We'll just pass over to our opponent. Because if we can get a sneaky block on this Kalain, I would feel okay with taking away one of their ways to make stronger creatures. Let's see what they do. And I'm willing to risk this Mechtitan core to some Death Touch shenanigans, as I have another one in hand. Not to mention that Reality Chip giving us access to more cards. I mean, it's really good stuff. Okay. Our opponent, I guess they're in a tough spot. I mean, they're not taking this long because the decisions are easy. Oh man, here we go. What's X on this creature? Where's the X equals? X equals 3. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. That's going to kill stuff. We'll keep Reality Chip. He loses a bunch of stuff. Oh man. Okay. Good game, opponent. I was hoping you'd fight it out. You know, the time investment was so high there. All right, good game. Okay, so we've gotten 2 nice victories so far with the Mechtitan core deck that I'm constantly saying loses a lot. I'm feeling great about that though. This is good stuff. Got a nice play in hand. Do I play Silver Raven first or Patchwork Automaton? Let's be greedy. Let's see how that goes. Oh, that's got a lot of colors. I'm enjoying that. Okay. We have a Reality Chip in hand. That is nice. And unlike last game, we have creatures out to configure it to right away. Okay. Play here is just a Another patchwork into the 1-drop. I think I would keep an island on the top of the deck. Yeah, we'll keep that. Yeah, we're gonna be aggressive. You're more than welcome to give the Silver Rain event -1/-1. I'm not gonna take away from my chance to deal 3 damage because he can kill a 1/1. Or create a treasure token. Maybe we're facing the same deck as last time. I'm seeing a lot of treasure tokens, so I'm gonna assume this is that Rakdos treasure deck. I think that's a fun deck. So we can play 2 things here, or Reckoner, Bankbuster, and a draw. I'm thinking we play 2 things so that he doesn't have an effective block there. Yeah, we're gonna swing nice here. So I had a choice between playing the Reality Chip and Mechtitan Core. I chose Mechtitan Core because if we draw the 5th island next turn, we can just go right into Mechtitan. And I mean, if everything goes right, and we never count on it to go right like that, but our opponent is at 10 life, and we could play Mechtitan next turn, so let's see. Oh, no, you didn't. This guy just took my Silver Raven. Hang on. I've got a sound effect for that, because the last time I took someone's thing, I played Vince McMahon saying it's not fair, so I guess it's only right. Oh, okay. Let's see. I think we'll just play the 2 things in our hand and take a nice swing. We see white. Okay, so they're playing whatever the name is for that color combination. Our opponent just took our big fat automaton. Now, do we get that thing back? Until end of turn, okay. At least we get it back. He's more than welcome to swing for 9 life. We'll just gain it back. Possibly. Okay, that was a good play, opponent. We're not gonna lie, it was good. Trying to think, is there any way that I can crew some of these vehicles to swing for the win? I don't think that's happening. So do we just play a Reckoner Bankbuster for 2? Or do we draw a card? We're gonna draw the card. I need to get the 5th mana out onto the field. Let's just do this already, huh? We're going to attack with only Patchwork, just to have the blocker available. Okay, hopefully our opponent doesn't take any more of our creatures because they've been doing a nice job of that. Definitely hurt to lose our big Patchwork. It was at a 7/7 and he died. We've got our opponent down to a 4 life. Don't think we'll be able to Oh, never mind. I guess we have, yeah. Well, barring any unforeseen shenanigans, that should be a good game. 1, 2, 3. We don't really want to get rid of reality chip, but I don't want to get rid of the patchwork either. I think it might not matter, of course. Okay, I guess that's good game. Okay, good game, Pumpkin Man. Oh man, would have been great for Pumpkin Man to take over our Mechtitan core with one of those abilities. Oh, that'd be terrible too, because it's such an investment for us to play Mechtitan, and then we wouldn't even get it back if he played that spell that didn't give it back. Oh man. Okay, I think I've played for a while now, but I noticed that we have 2,000 coins, so maybe in the interest of building up the extremely long-term hike or hype for my dinosaurs that I'd ultimately like to have together here. Maybe we'll open 2 packs of Ixalan really fast. Either way, this gets us closer to those all-important rare wildcards, of course. Got a Mythic coming up. I'm not sure what I'm going to spend it on, because I don't really want to spend it on a 4th Hallowed Haunting for my Selesnya enchantment stack. Exile to 5 creature cards from graveyards and opponent separates. Oh, that's cool. But I wanted Carnage Tyrant for my Mythic. Unclaimed Territory, neato. Oh man, Vraska's Contempt. How many of my dinos were killed by Vraska's Contempt? How many of your favorite creatures and planeswalkers were killed by Vraska's Contempt, man? Great card. Okay, I think that will do it for today's video. Ooh, googly eyes on the boxes. Check that out. I think that will do it for the video today. Once again, we were running Mechtitan Core. I think the only change I have to make here is if I run into more Surge Hacker mechs, I think I can take out Network Disruptors, because as nice as it is to have Network Disruptor come in after a Mechtitan is killed and tap their biggest threat, I think I'd rather kill their biggest threat than tap it and have to deal with it soon. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate any likes, any comments, any subscribes. Lets me know that I am valued, and you too, my viewer, are valued. So I like to say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you here again next time with some more Magic the Gathering Arena.